All right, we should end pretty early today. The other class finished 20 minutes early.
Ooh, gotta check my late pass too.
So first we'll go over some problems from last night's homework. And did you everybody got the practice quiz?
Yes. Wait, do we have
Did you guys start doing it yet?
no.
No, that's what tonight's for.
Do we have a new lesson?
Well, the second half of 4.2.
Oh, okay, okay.
But it's the same thing except
Yeah.
different.
Never mind.
All right, number 13. What do we got here? Find where the slope is defined. So first you got to find the derivative. That's what you got to find. Okay, so I'm going to call on you just to see if you guys know implicit differentiation. Who's got this first one? Deno.
dy dx x squared y minus.
Time out.
Wait. Oh, you want to find the derivative?
Yeah, so we're
Oh,
doing
X.
implicit differentiation.
Yes.
Start all over.
X squared dy dx plus 2xy. And then minus 2xy dy dx plus y squared.
Minus y squared, yeah? You gotta distribute that minus sign after you use the product rule, yeah?
Yeah, and then
Equals,
0.
okay, that is correct. Everybody got the first step? You gotta use the product rule on each one, but then you gotta distribute the minus sign afterwards. Everybody understand the first step? Because that's the key to the implicit differentiation. Now you have to solve for dy dx. So there's two terms with dy dx. Keep them on the left side of the equation. This is just algebra 1. Equals, and then move everything else on the other side. So negative 2xy plus y squared. Factor out the dy dx, and you're gonna get x squared minus 2xy equals negative 2xy plus y squared, and then divide. So, like I said, some of you can just go from this first step to the last step already, right? Because you can see what's happening, right? But just make sure you do it correctly if you're gonna do that. Equals negative 2xy plus y squared all over x squared minus 2xy. All right, now I forget the question already. Find where the slope is defined. Well, it's defined everywhere except when the denominator is 0, right? So I guess all you have to say is x squared minus 2xy cannot equal 0. I don't like that question. Just compute the derivative, good enough for me. Right there. Number 17. Write the equation of the tangent and the normal line. Come on, we've been doing this for ages. At the point 2, 3, write the equation of the tangent and normal line. So first, you have to find the derivative. So doing implicit differentiation, we get, whose turn is it? Hinterlighter.
2x plus x dy dx plus 1 y minus 2y 0.
What? The derivative of box squared is 2 box to the first times the derivative of box, which is? No, the derivative of y is? No,
Oh, y.
y prime dy dx. Just make sure when you do implicit differentiation, the derivative of x is 1, the derivative of y is dy dx. So keep the two dy dx terms on one side of the equation. Move the other two terms on the other side, so that's going to be minus 2x minus y. Factor out the dy dx, and you get x minus 2y. You know, after you do this for like 3 or 4 times, after a while you go, I don't want to do this, right? So you just write down the answer, yeah? So dy dx, this guy I like talking to myself, equals negative 2x minus y all over x minus 2y. There you go, that's the derivative. So at this point, what is the slope going to be? If I plug in 2 for x and 3 for y, what are you going to get? Negative 4 minus 3 all over 2 minus 6. That comes out to negative 7 over negative 4, 7/4. That's the slope of the tangent line at that particular point. So what's the equation of the tangent line? Just point slope occultize it. Y
Do we have
minus,
to wait the equation?
isn't that what it says? Let me look.
I thought it just said to.
It says find the lines that are
Oh,
tangent.
the
and-
line, my bad. I thought it just said the slope.
Y minus 3 equals 7/4.
Wait, did you turn the camera on, Mr. Ford?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then the normal line is gonna, any more interruptions? And then the normal line is gonna be the same thing except the slope gonna be negative reciprocal. Come on! Alright, since we're filming, we've gotta do everything on this one side of the board here, so that's just the way it is. 23. Same thing, except now we got trig functions. And if you looked at the practice quiz, you know you're gonna see trig functions. So negative at the point 1 comma pi over 2. You guys asked different questions in the other class. Interesting. Okay, let's make sure we got the implicit differentiation part correct. Who's got this one? Karamatsu.
2 parentheses x dy dx plus
Okay.
1y or 2y plus negative pi or no wait pi cosine y dy dx equals 0.
Okay, that is correct. Everybody got that? You gotta use the product rule over here now. But this one you don't have to because that's a constant, so you throw the constant on the side like an unwanted pet, right? Yeah. So keep all the, can I just write down the answer already? I'm getting tired already. dy dx is equal to, look, you can do this. This is the only term without a dy dx in it. Move it to that side, so that's negative 2y, right? If you factor out the dy dx from these two terms, what's gonna be left? 2x plus pi cosine pi. There you go.
Oh, wow.
There you go. There's your derivative.
Wait.
So-
Oh, no.
At this point, now we gotta figure out the slope. So if I plug in 1 for x and pi over 2 for y, what do you get? Plug in pi over 2 there. Really? Negative pi over, if I plug in 1 for x, you get
2
2
plus
plus, plug in pi over 2. Cosine of pi over 2 is,
0.
so you get negative pi over 2. So just point slope occultize it. Y minus pi over 2 is equal to negative pi over 2 times x minus 1. And then the normal line is, you do the same darn thing, except the slope is gonna be the negative reciprocal of that, so
2
that's 2
over pi.
over pi. Child's play. 25. We got more trig. How come you guys don't like a trig, eh? We were just talking about that in the math department meeting.
That we should just get rid of trig altogether.
No. Well, if that's the case, just get rid of calculus altogether then. How can you do calculus without trigonometry? Well, actually you can. If you go to college. No, thank you. No. No, you're crinkling. I can't concentrate when it's crinkling. Now I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, if you go to college, do you think you can take calculus without trigonometry? Yeah, if you take it in the business department.
It seems so much.
But you guys already taken
Business
this.
it is.
You guys have taken this already. You're gonna get the 5 on the AP exam, you're golden. Okay, who's doing this one? Just for that, Uehara?
Okay.
Do that remark.
Y prime equals 2 cosine and then pi x minus y times pi minus y prime.
Exactly. See, it looks to me that you guys know how to do the implicit differentiation. The problem is the algebra, right? Just like I told you on the first day of school. So what you have to do is you gotta multiply on everything. You have to take this and you gotta distribute it over here. Y prime is equal to 2 pi cosine box minus 2y prime cosine box. So now there's two terms with y prime in it. You gotta put them on the same side. So move it to the left, to the left, to the left. Everything you own in the box to the left. Is that the way it goes?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. So y prime, I'm just going to the answer already, my arm is getting tired. Cosine pi x minus y over, and when you factor out the y prime, what's gonna be left? 1 plus 2 cosine box. Here you go, that's the derivative. Now we have to write the equation. Okay, well, I forgot the point. This is number 25. The point is 1 comma 0. So at the point 1 comma 0, the slope will be, if I plug in 1 for x and 0 for y. Okay, I can do this. You guys got to do this. Keahi, plug in 1 comma 0.
Ah, 1 pi minus.
Just read it off your paper.
Pi, oh, cosine pi is 1, 2 pi, 2 pi. Wait, what? Wait, what did I say? I was listening to myself. Oh no, it's recorded. Now I sound dumb. I already got
watch this.
Cosine pi
done.
cosine pi is not 1.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Negative 1.
Okay, it's not, so what is the number? What is the number?
Negative 2 pi.
Negative 2 pi over.
Over 1. The pi, 2 cosine negative. 1 plus. No. Negative 2 plus 1.
So 1 minus 2 then. So that's
Which is
2
negative
pi.
1. Oh,
Yes, so
yeah.
negative divided by
I
negative
took
equals a
away
positive.
I apologize.
Y minus 0 equal 2 pi times x minus 1. The tangent line is going to be the same, I mean the normal line, same thing, except you make the negative reciprocal. Aren't you tired of doing tangent lines?
Yes.
I am. Okay, we're gonna finish way earlier than the other class. The other class had like twice as many problems here. 27. Oh, by the way, you guys know you're handing in the homework tomorrow, right?
What?
We did it in the first quarter. This is first quarter.
Wow, wait.
Okay, this is what you're handing in tomorrow. You're handing in 4.1 both. Remember we broke it up into 2 nights? And the first half of 4.2, last night's homework. The second half of 4.2 is going to be in the second quarter. That's tonight's homework,
That
yes.
part's on the quiz too, though.
What?
That part's on the quiz too.
No, no.
Well, if you look at the practice quiz, that's what the quiz is, so the numbers change, the no.
Is it, are we doing it over break like this coming weekend?
Okay, let me make this clear. I don't give homework over fall break, or spring break, or Christmas break. So the homework that's assigned for tonight is tonight's homework. You understand?
And the max quiz.
But
is
if you
like-
choose
I mean,
not to do it tonight, then you're gonna have homework over the weekend.
So the quiz.
I don't give homework over the weekend. This is Tuesday night's homework. You know, but that is not gonna be collected because we're gonna discuss it next Monday.
And the practice quiz isn't due, yeah? It's just for
Oh,
like.
you don't.
Well, I'll tell you right now, if you don't do the practice quiz, then I'm not gonna make it anymore.
No, but should we
Thank
check
you.
it?
No, but do you need to turn it in?
Well, wait, time out. He's not here for some reason. How come he never told me that? I didn't see him on the absence list.
Maybe you did a college presentation.
Well, he never told me that.
Well, that's.
Is he the one who asked?
Dylan.
It was
He-
in the morning.
Wait, is
They
he
didn't
the
watch
one who asked for a video?
Oh, it's Notre Dame.
No, it was Harada.
Oh, Tyra.
It's Notre Dame.
What?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
I don't know.
And therefore,
In the morning or so.
okay, do you guys understand what's happening?
Watch it now.
Before I give you the maxi quiz tomorrow, you gotta give me 3 homework assignments. 4.1, 4.1, and 4.2. Okay, maybe I should call it 4.1A, 4.1B, and 4.2A. That's 21 more points.
Woo.
So tomorrow could be 121 out of 121 point day, right? It could be.
Easy money.
It could be.
Whoa, whoa. Too easy.
No, don't bring back
Gosh.
27! We did this! Didn't I do this as an example last time, except it was a 9? And then, well, it was a 4, I changed it. The book has a 1 there and all hell breaks loose. But you know what, I'm gonna do it anyway because this is one of the 12 problems on tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Max equation, except it's not gonna be a 1, a 4, or a 9. I'm not gonna tell you what the number is. What's the difference? You take the derivative of 1, you get 0. Whatever number I put there, you're gonna get 0. Okay, let's make sure we can do implicit differentiation. Who's up here? Part?
2x plus 2y times y prime equals 0.
There you go. So y prime is equal to negative 2x over 2y. I would highly suggest you cancel out the 2's. Because every year, there's always 2 or 3 clowns. They don't cancel, and then the numbers get really big at the end, and then they can make a mistake. Okay, now that's the first derivative. Now we're going to do second derivative. So take the derivative of both sides again. The derivative of y prime is y double prime, right? And then this side is, say, a quotient, so we're going to use quotient rule. Correct?
Yes.
So who's got this one? Evans, quotient rule, lookatize it.
Y times negative 1 minus negative x y prime over y squared.
That is correct. I think that's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Low D high minus high. Oh, no.
Negative on that.
High D low, all over denominator squared we go. Okay, so now easy, but what is the problem here?
Y prime.
Yeah, what do I do with this y prime? You have to substitute what you got for y prime in the previous
That's
step.
right.
Didn't we do it? Why do I even do examples on the board? You know, this book has probably got this example in it too. And then what's the fastest way of simplifying a complex fraction like this? Multiply top and bottom by y.
Y.
So you got negative y squared minus x squared over y cubed. Factor out the negative sign and you get y squared plus x squared over, that's a cube full, y cubed. And then your final step, negative 1 over y cubed. And for those of you who were dozing off yesterday, where the heck did this 1 come from? The beginning. X squared plus y squared equal 1. That's equal to 1. So no matter what number I make this tomorrow, you know you're going to plug it in at the end, right? For that last point. Like if you just wrote this, I would give you 3 out of 4 points. But why set up for 3 out of 4? Just get 4 out of 4, right?
We get 53 ones.
Oh! Actually, I'm giving you 52. You know.
Yes.
There's 12 problems, 4 points each, 52. That's
We'll
shameless.
get a pretty high number.
You know what? You guys should be telling me, Mr. Park, I feel guilty about taking that.
No,
Never.
No.
That's what you guys should be saying.
everything's hard.
This is AP. See, some of you still don't realize that this is AP. Especially those of you who came from pre-cal regular. You have to go up like 2 levels to get where we are now, you know. Whereas those of you who came from PCH, you're coming down a level, right? No, you are, right? Wasn't PCH just way harder than this?
PCH was that.
It was, yeah, it's like,
hard.
but if you came from pre-cal regular, you actually have to like,
Yeah.
you gotta kick it up 2 notches. 1 notch not enough. Some of you just doing what you did last year and you're at the same notch. That's why hard.
That's why.
Okay, I'm just gonna show you one problem that you need for tonight's homework, but the reason why I'm doing it, because it's on tomorrow's quiz.
What?
Look, I'm going over it now. It's on the practice quiz.
We only have 1 day practicing and, you know.
This is easy. Look, we're doing the same thing. The calculus part is not the problem. It's the other part.
That's true.
Okay, so let me think. Shh. 2x squared plus xy plus y squared equals 1. Do I like this? Or, okay, that's good enough. Okay. Now, does anybody know what this graph looks like? It's a tilted ellipse, that's what it is. I'm not really sure if it tilts that way or that way. After we finish the problem, I'll tell you which way it is. And you guys at pre-cal regular, did you guys do tilted ellipses last year?
We didn't do that, right?
Or you just did this kind of ellipse?
I swear we
Yeah,
did it.
sure you
Yeah, we
No,
did this
did
kind.
not.
I was so bad.
Oh
I got
my
it wrong.
goodness.
Wait.
Don't you remember you guys had to graph it on your calculator, you had to draw it on your homework and the
Yeah,
quiz
that's
and the
right.
test?
Oh, yeah.
Flowers.
And then had the tilted parabola and the tilted hyperbola.
Little rosies.
No, that's polar.
Right.
That's polar. That's not what
It's
it's.
just regular graphs, yeah? It's just regular graphs. Wait, are we doing parametric? Is it?
No, because we're AB.
Yes.
But, next year you go to college and if you have to take second semester calculus, you better remember parametric and polar.
We have to know logic for second semester?
No, logic, no. You don't-
Logic's done, right?
Yeah, you're done with
Yeah.
logic.
What is parametrics?
Okay, well, since you asked, parametric is the position of the particle. See, you have a particle moving in the Cartesian plane, like, according to some equations like this. Now, I know in pre-cal regular you guys did this. Maybe not with trig functions, but you did parametrics. Anyway, what you have is a particle that's moving in the xy plane according to these equations. No, why shouldn't you ask? If you're gonna do engineering, this is exactly what engineering is.
I'm not gonna do that.
Why? Because you don't wanna drive trains.
It's not hard.
The horn is too loud when you pull the thing. Anyway, the particle's moving, and then once you give these equations, now you can compute velocities and accelerations.
Yeah, see, I was too bad at physics for
But you don't need to be good at physics if you know calculus. Calculus makes physics easy. If you knew calculus when you took physics last year or whenever you took it, you would be dominating the class. Okay, can we just do this problem so we can finish
that.
early?
Can't draw a free body diagram.
Yeah, that's, yeah. No matter what engineer, what kind of engineer you're gonna be, mechanical, civil, electrical engineer, whatever, chemical, environmental, you gotta draw free body diagrams. You gotta do circuits. That's why you, see, did you guys all purge that from physics?
Yeah, 'cause it's one of the basic.
But then, so why do you purge things? Because then, when they keep it with you, then when you do it, then you can build on it.
I purged that before I took the final.
Before you took the final.
I got a 2 on physics.
Okay, why don't you just announce it to everybody in the whole world?
Yes.
Okay, this is the problem, okay? I'm not sure which way the ellipse tilts. We'll figure it out at the end, okay? This is what I want. Part A, find the 2 points on the ellipse where the tangent line is horizontal. That's part A. Part B, you can probably guess, find the 2 points on this ellipse where the tangent lines are vertical. Now tomorrow, you're only gonna get one of them. It's either horizontal or vertical.
And they're separate lines, yeah, all of them.
Yeah, because you can see, one is vertical and the other two are horizontal. Let's do the horizontal ones first. So the first thing you gotta do is you gotta compute the derivative, because the derivative tells you the slope. So you have to be able to do implicit differentiation. Okay, who's got this one? Keahi.
4x plus x y over dx
You guys always gotta be different, yeah? That's not the way I do it.
plus
Whatever, just do it correct.
plus y plus 2y times dy over dx.
Wait, how come one you say y prime and then you go to
She
y
didn't
dx?
say.
I didn't say
She never said.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I heard it in my mind.
Yeah.
Equals.
Equals 1.
No!
Zero,
Oh, that would be a
zero,
minus 2 right there, you know?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Don't make the mistake tomorrow. The derivative of a number is 0. Okay, so y prime, I'm just gonna go, you guys, come on, if you did your homework last night, you guys know, right? These two move it to the other side, so it's gonna be negative 4x minus y. If you factor out the y prime from these two terms, you get x plus 2y. You can just go straight to the answer. Okay, I don't care if you take 1 step or 5 steps, just get that, okay? It doesn't matter, because those steps not gonna matter, well, unless you make a mistake, and you get a big chunk taken out, right? Okay, now, if I want the tangent line to be horizontal, what is the slope of a horizontal line?
0.
0. So I want the derivative to equal 0. Now, if this is the derivative and I want it to equal 0, what does that mean? The top is 0 or the bottom is 0?
Top.
The top is 0. So for part A, you have to make the numerator equal to 0. That's the condition to make the derivative 0, correct? Now, we have to find the points on this graph. How do you think I'm going to find these 2 points? So this is the condition that makes the tangent line horizontal. This is the equation of the graph. So how do I find the points on this graph where this happens?
Plug it in.
Yeah, substitution. So what you have to do is you have to solve for y or x in this equation and plug it in down. Now which variable is easier to solve for in this equation?
Y.
Yeah, so y equals negative 4x. Take that and plug it back into the original equation. So let's do that. 2x squared plus xy, but y is equal to negative 4x, plus y squared, but y is negative 4x, equals 1. There you go. Now you have an equation with just one variable. It's easy now. So what do you got here? 2x squared minus 4x squared plus 16x squared is equal to 1. So what is that going to be? 18x squared is equal to 1. That's not 18. How come you guys are going nodding? It's 14, fool. Isn't it 14?
Yes.
Negative 2 plus 16 is 4. Oh, you guys are just copying down. Mr. Park is right all the time. No, I make a lot of mistakes. The older I get, the more mistakes I make. That's just the way it is. Now, obviously, if this were on the quiz, which it is going to be on the quiz, I wouldn't use 1. You know why? Because who wants to solve this equation? X squared equals 114. That's ugly. So think about it. If you were making this problem, what number would you change the 1 to if you want to make it come out nice?
14.
Yeah, 14 would be good, yeah? Because then you would get 14 over here. And then now you get x squared equal 1. So you know what? We're going to make that change. Change the 1 to a 14. But see, it doesn't matter because the derivative of 14 is still 0, right? But then when you plug it in, we want the answer to come out nice. That's what I try to do. Anyway, if x squared is equal to 1, what is x? Plus or minus 1. Do not just put 1 like period 1. Half the class going 1. Plus or minus 1. Anyway, there's 2 points where this happens, right? So, if the x coordinate is 1 or negative 1, how do I find the y coordinate?
Plug it in.
Yeah, so do I plug it into this equation?
No.
Or do I plug it into this equation? It's up to you because it comes out the same. You want to plug it into A or B?
B.
Yeah, look how easy that is. Y is simply negative 4 times the x value. So once you get the x value, you just multiply it by negative 4 to get the y. Multiply by negative 4 again. Woo! Those are the 2 points. So 1, negative 4, negative. So obviously my ellipse was not tilted the right way. It's actually tilted this way, right? You guys see that?
Yes.
Because look, 1, negative 4, that's down here. See, we gotta go right and down. That's there. And then negative 1, 4 is up here. So the ellipse tilts this way.
Vertical.
Okay, now we do the vertical and we're done. So find the 2 points. Now let's draw the ellipse the right way this time. Find the 2 points on this ellipse where the tangent lines are vertical. So here's the derivative. Where's the derivative? Right here. Here's the derivative. Now what is the slope of a vertical line?
Undefined.
Undefined. What would make this undefined? The denominator gotta be 0. So we're gonna do the exact same thing except we make the denominator 0. And then we have to find the points on this graph. So what do you think I'm gonna do? Solve for one of the variables in this equation and plug it in here. Now, what's easier to solve for, x or y?
X.
Yeah, x, because we don't want to work with fractions, do we? So x equals negative 2y, you take that and you plug it in here. So what do you got? 2x squared, but x is equal to negative 2y. Plus x, which is negative 2y times y, plus y squared is equal to 14. Remember we changed the number to 14 to make it come out nice? Hopefully this one comes out nice too. So simplify this, what do we got? A at y squared minus 2y squared plus y squared equals 14. 7y squared equals 14. Y squared equals 2. Y equals plus or minus radical 2. That's not a bad answer. So we just figured out the 2 y coordinates, root 2 and negative root 2. How do I figure out the x values? Should I plug it into this nice thing, or should I plug it into this ugly thing?
Nice.
Yeah, plug it into the nice one. So the x coordinate is simply -2 times the y coordinate. So whatever the y coordinate is, just multiply it by -2. Multiply that by -2, and ka-ching! Those are the 2 points where the tangent lines are vertical. So does everybody understand what's gonna happen tomorrow? I'm either gonna give you horizontal or vertical. You're not gonna get both. It's gonna be one or the other. So if it's horizontal, you make the numerator equal to 0. If it's vertical, you make the denominator equal to 0. You guys can handle that, right? But you gotta grind out the algebra part, yeah? That's tough. So just make sure you get the derivative correct, because if you don't get the derivative part correctly, it's gonna start getting really, really ugly. But don't forget, finish the problem. Even if you make a mistake up here, like, what if you forgot, like, what kind of mistake would the student make here?
Forget the negative sign.
No, I mean up here, in this very first step. Let's say you forgot the 2 there. Okay, of course it's gonna, that's gotta be at least a -1, right? But at least you can get the rest of the points if you make no other mistake. You know what I'm talking about? But if you don't finish the problem, then there's a problem. You have to finish the problem. I'm trying to train you for the AP exam. If you don't finish the problem, then you have no chance of getting partial credit.
Will they get partial credit on the AP exam?
Yeah, it's all partial credit.
Oh, that's nice.
In fact, sometimes you don't get any answer from the final answer on the AP exam. Like, they don't care about the answer, they want to see your work. You know what I mean? Well, usually they'll give you like 1 point for the final answer, but sometimes they don't really care about the final answer. They don't see how you did the problem.
That's nice.
That's why they have to pay teachers like me to grade the AP exam. So I think they hired like, was it 800 teachers? Math teachers, calculus teachers, and math professors. Anyway, that's what we have to do. All we do is grade, like they train you to grade one of the 6 free response questions, and you just do that all day long.
The same one.
The same one. And then when we finish it, like maybe it might take us 2 days, then they train you on another problem, and then you just grade that until it's done. But at least it's, so like for calculus teachers, we grade like 3 different problems, but you know, for physics, Mr. Heiler told me that you just grade 1 problem the whole week.
Oh.
That's pretty boring. At least we get to grade 3 different ones.
So would this be like an example of a free response problem?
Yeah, this would be this would be like part C of a free response problem. Usually you're gonna get a problem and there'll be like part A, B, C. That's normally how.
And they're all connect.
Yeah.
So you have to get like, I mean, you don't have to, but you want to get A and B correct to get C correct.
Look, we're Iolani. We want to get everything correct.
5s, all 5s, all 5s.
That's what we're going for. Okay, you guys got 20 minutes left. Take out that practice test and start doing it. Unless you're behind on your homework, then do that. Do something. Yeah.
Study for a different.
Yeah, that's fine. But we're not playing a game today. That's what you're at.
Aw.
I missed
Wait,
the
did
first
you put the other class?
I was the first.
Other class, they started their practice quiz.
Not too bad.
Where would you start?